welcome to episode 489 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. And this week we are talking about Explorer, so get excited.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Meghan.
And just like Meghan said, yes, we're going to talk Explorer on the show today because it's a brand new Magic format and we haven't talked about it yet.
We haven't talked about it, and there is a lot of wild stuff going on in Explorer.
I mean, it just makes sense, right? It's like kind of Pioneer Junior.
Exactly. And Pioneer, notorious for being a wild format.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you're thinking like, wow, if you miss anything from like the history of arena formats, it might be alive and well in Explorer.
Yeah, that's so true. Like tons of different options, tons of different decks. So we're going to tell you all about awesome decks that you can try out in the newest of new Magic formats.
Yeah.
And which ones we particularly think are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're also going to have Magic Storytime.
Yeah.
Chapter 4 of the new Capenna story.
Ooh, stuff is starting to happen.
Great.
Yeah.
And I'm just like so excited to talk about Explorer because
it's going to be a very good time. But before we get started, we of course have people to thank.
Yes.
First and foremost amongst them are you, the patrons of this show. If you're a patron over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic, thank you so very much for keeping the show alive. And especially thank you to Anne and Arno for becoming new patrons in the past week.
Thank you, Anne and Arno, both people whose names start with A, thus initiating once again the first letter of your name challenge.
Yes, this initiates an A challenge.
So anybody with the letter A that starts your name, please become a patron.
I thought you were going to say anyone with an A in your name.
Anyone with an
A in your name. Anyone
Just
whose name starts with an A, this is a special challenge to you to consider becoming a patron this week. So we can thank you.
We would love to. You can buy a membership for the entire year up front, get a huge discount, which is really awesome. Access to our super cool Discord server full of the best people on the planet.
Yep.
And lots of other awesome perks depending on your reward level. But yeah, just for $1 a month, you can become a member.
Yep.
And we'll give you a shout out on the show. And we would love to do so.
Thank you as well to Card Kingdom, one of the sponsors of the show. If you are getting ready for Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, which is a party format, by which I mean
you want to play it
with a bunch of people. You want to sit down and do a really cool Commander Legends draft. You're going to need a booster box, and the best place to get that is at Card Kingdom.
Yeah, so the pre-release was last weekend, release coming up on Friday. So if you're like, I want to get in on that, Card Kingdom's got you covered. cardkingdom.com/GLHF. That's the link to use. Say GLHF when you get your order. They'll throw in a token or a sticker for you.
Ooh.
Absolutely free.
Nice.
And you and your friends can do some Commander draft, which is just a super fun way to play Commander, and you don't have to shuffle 100 cards.
No, you don't. Thank goodness. We will never stop talking about shuffling 100 cards.
Nope, we won't. We just won't.
All right, Maria, we're going to kick it off with the Scryfall Randomizer.
Excellent.
I made you go first last week, so if you want to go first.
To find a random one for you?
Yes, find a random card for me.
What is this?
Ooh, I'm very excited.
Here, Meghan, tell the audience what you see.
Okay, well, this is very spooky. We are in a dimly lit, kind of like spectrally forest with lots of fog happening.
Yeah.
And in the foreground, there's a bunch of like chopped up little branches, and stuck into a stump is a spooky, spooky axe.
This is so strange. This is it's kind of weird just to see an axe. That's like what it is.
Stuck into a tree trunk.
Okay, so what do you think this card does? Do you want me to tell you the name?
An artifact equipment. That's my guess.
Okay, well, I didn't want to tell you the name up front because it might change your guess.
Oh, okay. Tell me the name.
The name is Hickory Woodlot.
Oh. I guess it's a land?
Yes, it is a land. I knew it would give it away.
Yes, I'm going to go with Hickory Woodlot is a green-black land that you can pay green-black and sacrifice it. Wait, no. I'm going to say Hickory Woodlot has does not tap for any mana, but you can pay and sacrifice it to go get a forest and a swamp.
Okay, yeah, that's a good guess. Sacrifice it turns into an axe that you can equip your creatures with.
Oh, okay.
Equipment lands. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah.
probably really bad. Anyway, this is what Hickory Woodlot does. It's from Mercadian Masks, everybody.
Okay.
Just land. Hickory Woodlot enters the battlefield tapped with 2 depletion counters on it. Have you ever heard of a depletion counter?
No.
Welcome to your new life. Tap, remove a depletion counter from Hickory Woodlot, add green. If there are no depletion counters on Hickory Woodlot, sacrifice it. So you can kind of ramp with it if you want twice.
But then it's gone forever.
And then it's never land ever again.
Wow. That's rough. I understand why we have never heard of that land.
Yeah. Just like, okay.
Okay.
If you need 2 instances of one little ramp, there you go. Hickory Woodlot,
I guess.
That's your card. It's so straight. It's just weird. The art just weirded me out because it obviously looks like it should be an artifact, but it's not an artifact.
It does really look like an artifact.
Anyway.
All right. Ooh, I am so excited for you to see this art.
Okay, great. Oh, wow.
This art is great.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is an enormous griffin that's inside a pen. In the background is a city, so it makes me think of Ravnica. And it's in a pen, and there's this woman standing in front of this griffin, who's of course only like 1/3 its size, and she's wearing beautiful golden armor. She's got her hand on her hip, and what is that she's holding?
I don't know.
She's holding something. Maybe
like
a saddle. It's a saddle.
It's a saddle for the griffin.
She's gonna ride this puppy. And she just looks so sassy. She's like, yeah, this is my griffin. His name is Paul. I ride him.
Paul. This griffin does look like he's named Paul, if I'm being honest.
This is a white card. This is 4 and a white for a 3/3 flyer. And why is she, and it's a human though. It's like, it's about her. It's like Griffin Rider.
Oh my God.
Is that the name of the card?
No, but it is 4 and a white. It is a 3/3.
Yes.
And it is a human. It is called Skyrider Trainee.
Holy cow.
And as long as it is enchanted, it has flying. Like, that I think is the closest we've ever gotten.
We've ever come. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I just felt 4 and a white like never before. I don't know why. Just something about this card says 4 and a white to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which set is this from?
Guild Pact.
Oh, okay. Guild Pact.
Oh, yeah. So it is from Ravnica.
Yeah.
Wow. You got everything right. Except that the griffin's name is Kang.
Is that
in the flavor text? Its name is Kang, not Paul.
Okay,
so.
read the flavor text.
Of course, I plan on going up. Kang here is the most trusted Finn on the squad. Afraid? Me? No, I'm just waiting for the right wind conditions.
Now just substitute Paul in there, and you can see how much better it would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone, it is time to say thank you to our incredible sponsor, Ultra Pro.
Yes. In order to thank Ultra Pro, we licked all of their products. So here's a video about that.
Welcome to the Ultra Pro Taste the Rainbow Challenge,
where we're going to lick Ultra Pro accessories to see if we can taste what color they are.
Bring it on. I'm going to have a perfect score.
It's very disorienting. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with
I'm feeling a purple taste.
Something very bright. I'm gonna go with like a yellow.
This one has notes of Florida. This is an orange sleeve. I'm tasting an orange.
Purple.
This one is serving me tropical berry punch. Purple.
Ooh, orange.
Strong. I feel the magnets are strong with this one. Blue.
Also purple. That's also purple taste.
I want to say this is a deep red tone.
Oh, you gotta give me something besides pink. That's also pink. That's pink too. Those are all pink.
Ooh, what is this? This is a satiny feel. But how does it taste? That's the real question.
I can't tell how close it is to my face.
This is a black deck box. Black. All colors at once.
Also pink.
This one, I want to say this one is like between pink and red. This is like mauve. if you will. This is a mauve color deck box.
Ooh, that's a nice change of pace. That's obviously very blue. It's very blue.
This binder is obviously orange. Oh! Ultra Pro accessories. Taste the rainbow. I truly hope, you got something out of that.
Yeah, Ultra Pro. You taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
Their Eclipse series, they've got 12 different colors.
Yeah.
Every month they celebrate a different one.
Yeah.
June is a delightful lemon yellow.
It's really pretty.
It's really nice. Of course, as you already know, May was Pacific Blue.
Yes.
As you saw in the trailer for Deep Pacific Blue Sea.
If you haven't seen that trailer, go watch it.
Go watch it. You find out basically everything that happens in the film.
But that's okay.
But that's how trailers work these days, you know?
It's true. You can look at that on our Twitter account, and in one of our past episodes too, we linked to it, and it's very good.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm super excited with all the colors of stuff that Ultra Pro has. And if you just make a beautiful little display of all of the stuff in a rainbow configuration, it just always looks so pretty whenever they do that.
It's nice.
If you want to get anything from them, use our code GLHF to get 5% off. They're just everything you could possibly want.
Yeah.
For your magic life, they've got it. So check them out.
It is time to talk Explorer.
Yes, Magic the Gathering's newest format. I mean, I feel like we dole them out left and right these days, but
we really do. So this is Arena's working towards Pioneer format.
Yeah.
So it includes every set that is not Arena sets, but every standard legal set that has been available on Arena. All those cards encompassed.
Up to this point, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're not playing with any alchemy situations or historic situations because this is a true to paper format, which people have been clamoring for.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
Arena.
I think people were like, why can't we hop straight to Pioneer?
Yeah.
But the answer is because...
Takes a long time.
I guess that's a lot of cards. But yeah, it's really cool because it does not have a super defined metagame right now.
Yeah.
It is all over the place.
Yeah, there's just everything that you could think you want to do in a format, you can do it in Explorer.
Yeah.
If you're I want to play this kind of deck, great. There's decks like that for you.
Yep.
Control player, mid-range player, big beef player, aggro player.
Yeah.
You got it.
Speaking of, we can just right off the bat talk about there's always a mono red aggro deck in a format, especially when it's fresh, because you can just get in there and you can run over the people who are dirtling around doing whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got access to tons of the classics,
the hits
from mono red aggro over the years. Gitu Lava Runner, Soul Scar Mage, Viashino Pyromancer, Bone Crusher Giant. Gosh,
miss me yet?
Never wanted to see that card again, but I guess here we are.
Don't miss you.
Anyways, Skewer the Critics, Wizard's Lightning. Just tons of stuff.
And you get to play Chandra Dressed to Kill in this specific build we're looking at, which, did you see in the store the other day? It was all the LGBTQ planeswalkers, and Chandra was there, and you could buy her in her awesome dress version.
Yeah.
Just
very
saying.
sick.
It was great. So if you're a mono red player, don't worry.
Yeah.
There's
or if
a mono
you're just
red.
hey, I want to try and race my way up the ladder as fast as I possibly can. Maybe just hop on mono red.
Yeah, there you go.
Just do best of one mono red aggro people out
all the way,
and just be okay.
So the cool thing about this format too is that we're not done. We're going to keep just adding cards into this with new set releases. And also Wizards is going to continually kind of trickle cards into Explorer to try and eventually end up matching Pioneer and paper.
Yeah.
IRL. And the way they're going to do that is sometimes they're not going to just print, every card that could possibly be in Pioneer, because that would be, I don't know how many it would be. It would be a billion cards.
1 billion cards.
But they're going to try and put cards that are relevant from the Pioneer paper format to make sure they're available on Arena. So watch out for that stuff happening. Anyway, another deck that's kind of sort of popping up in every single format that exists on Arena, which is Black Red Sacrifice.
Yes, this is thanks to Oni Cult Anvil, which is from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
Yeah.
And yeah, black, red, whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. It only triggers once each turn. You can tap and sacrifice an artifact to deal 1 damage to each opponent and gain 1 life.
Very sick.
Yes. And then, of course, you have stuff like Experimental Synthesizer to try and get some card advantage. And then this one also has, because you have access to that, which is in standard right now. And, of course, you also have access to just
Cat
good
Oven.
old Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar.
Yeah. It's like slap the two best ones together.
Yep.
The cat oven combo that we've all loved to hate for 1,000 years. The Anvil combo.
Yeah.
Put them both in the same deck.
And people will really hate you.
Do you like triggers? Do you like
Well,
clicking your mouse a lot?
Here you go.
Is
this
your-
is for you.
Does your clicker finger look like it's got the little like muscle in the middle? Like,
Yeah. Are you not worried about carpal tunnel?
like everything everywhere all at once? Like,
Yeah.
like does it look like that? Is it swole? This is the deck for you.
This is the deck for you.
I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but you know, maybe you will.
Yeah.
Touch it with a 2-foot pole.
Maybe you will.
Megan,
Yeah.
for you, what has been your go-to jam?
Okay, well, speaking of things that you can return to that you miss, Yorian
Yes.
is back.
Oh boy.
Yorian, our big
Yorian.
sky snake, who wants your deck to be extra big.
Yeah.
He's here.
He's here.
You know, Yorian, the sky nomad, which of course goes in blue, white, or Esper control shells.
Yep.
We get access again to Narset Parter of Veils. Love Narset.
Threw up in my mouth.
Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, of course. You know, just like some of the classics of control over the years. Shark Typhoon is back.
Oh God.
Oh, thank you. Shark Typhoon, beautiful, amazing.
And you get new toys like the Wandering Emperor.
That's true. We've got Wandering Emperor. We have Void Rend,
Gross.
which is a nice destroy target non-land permanent card. Yeah, you know, it's just a classic. It's a classic control. You're going to remove everything, and then you're going to draw some cards.
I
The
feel
end.
physically ill looking at this deck list.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's a thing of beauty.
It's so good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's got everything.
It's got everything.
Oof, that deck seems strong.
What isn't to love about it?
So you've enjoyed it, I assume.
Yes, I have. Although it does always remind me sometimes, like, I know that, like, tons
You
of...
miss Sphinx's Revelation. Is that
one,
what you're
yes,
going to say?
I do miss Sphinx's Revelation. Two, I was just going to say, like, right, and I know that obviously Yorian Control and Yorian decks have been in the format for a long time.
We
And
haven't
they've-
had them for a minute, though.
That's true, but they were very good in their standard moment, you know. I don't know. That one had more. That was more about flickering stuff, though.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I'm not always sure about Yorian for control, just because control sometimes you really need to draw some specific cards.
Yeah,
You
that's
need to
true.
draw a sweeper, or you need to draw your card draw spell, and when you're making your deck 80 cards because of Yorian, it's
Yeah.
kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes it much harder sometimes to draw what you need in a key position. So I'm still on the fence about that. Maybe
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe just a good old classic control is better.
No companion needed.
Yeah.
You've got Grixis mid-range here up next.
I've just played against this a bunch. I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's I feel like when you've got a lot of powerful cards in a format, you're
play
always
'em.
going to have a Grixis deck in some way because it's going to use the core tools of lots of removal and disruption in red and black, and then drawing those cards back in blue. It's of course got Nikki B.
Nicol Bolas the Ravager.
Yeah, that's his
4/4.
dragon form.
His dragon form.
That you can pay to transform, and then also Nicol Bolas Dragon God.
Yeah.
Right? Like these days on Arena, Grixis is always about that Nikki B.
Oh yeah, you got to play the Nikki B here in his 2 form. You know?
And I gotta say, like, it's a good card. Nicol Bolas the Ravager, great card. Like this deck is just kind of like, hey, I'm going to kill your stuff with cards like Bone Crusher Giant, Fatal Push, Heartless Act. They'll disrupt you with some Thoughtseize. And then once they've like kind of pulled apart your plan, they're going to
Colligan's
stick a Nicol
Command.
Bolas.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, What are you going to do now?
This deck has added Maestro's Charm, which I think is interesting.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely.
From New Capenna.
Kolaghan's Command, which is just also a brutal card.
Brutal. You're playing Bloodthirsty Adversary as well, which is a little hasty 2/2 that if you pay 2 in a red, you can get stuff back from the graveyard, cast it again. Which
is pretty sick.
Seems brutal in this deck.
Yeah.
Croxa.
Of course.
Velky.
Yeah.
This deck seems very
you
good.
Know, just all the hits.
All the Grixis hits. Okay, yeah. So we've just been describing nonstop power.
Exactly. Those are just some of the classics. When you get back into any format or you introduce a format, you get into something new. There's going to be your aggro deck. There's going to be your control deck. There's going to be that mid-rangey grind fest deck.
Totally.
But what about a sick little combo?
You know what? I am here for this deck. We've talked about it on the show in the past.
Yes, it was briefly a thing in Historic. And here it is, making itself known in Explorer. It is none other than Greasefang.
The greasiest boy is back.
Yes.
Don't tell him to take a shower.
There's Esper versions and there's Mardu versions, but they both revolve around this combo of using Greasefang Okiba Boss, who's 1 white black for a 4/3 rat pilot.
Is a rat.
Who says at the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
What?
It gains haste. Return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step. And of course, you're trying to put none other than Parhelion 2 into your graveyard and then back onto the battlefield thanks to Greasefang.
And it's great because Greasefang jumps in the Parhelion to crew it. Once you're attacking with Parhelion 2, you're creating 2 4/4 angels. So even though it's coming back to your hand, you don't even care.
No, you just have these 2 4/4 angels now.
Oh yeah, it has vigilance, first strike, flying ob. So you've got all of that. I mean,
it's a good.
I loved playing this in Historic at the moment when people were not ready for it because there's like, I'm dead on turn 3, and you're like, yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
You absolutely are.
It has lots of ways, of course, to try and discard cards.
Yep, got to get rid of them.
You have Faithful Mending, which draws and then discards. Tainted Indulgence, same thing, draw and discard.
This is interesting to see it in Esper Shell because in a shell with red, of course, you're playing Faithless Looting and all that kind of stuff.
Which is, of course, a wildly powerful shell.
Wow.
Or a wildly powerful card, I mean. But yeah, there's both Mardu and Esper. Both have plenty of ways to discard this card, to discard Parhelion, try and find that, that rat boss.
This Esper version's also doing it with Rafine Scheming Seer.
Oh yeah, I know.
With
which
Connive.
I think is one of the.
That's kind of cool.
And Ledger Shredder, which you also get with blue.
Oh, all right.
So there's some good stuff with blue.
That seems like a fun one to try.
Blue, you heard it here first. Good color. We know no one else is brave enough to say it, but we'll say it.
Do you think blue is the best color in Magic? I mean, obviously you do on a personal level.
Yeah.
But I mean, on an overall level, holistic level.
Yes.
Blue is the best color in Magic.
It's the reason why they always have to give blues parts of the color pie to other colors. I mean it.
Yeah.
You think about it, right? Like blue, they don't often, blue always has flying, but they're like never, they don't go around like slapping vigilance on a bunch of things or like trample on a bunch of blue creatures. Right? Because blue's like,
You're right,
I do good.
don't.
I don't need your stuff. But they're always giving other colors card draw.
Yeah,
They're always looking for ways to give other colors card draw. They're also give other colors counter spells.
Weird. They just have to take blue stuff and give it out because it was too good.
Exactly, because it's too good. Wow. I truly, therefore, Meghan, truly believe that blue is the best color.
Wow, I would love to see like a Judge Judy adjudicate a best color.
I think you mean
debate.
Judy Justice.
Oh yeah, Judy Justice. Come have a small claims court about what is the best color in Magic. And she's like, wait, what is the thing that's, up for grabs here? And you're just like, pride.
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing.
Let's
Being
go.
right.
Being right. Solid argument, though. Solid argument. Next up, we're going to talk about angels.
Yeah, this is just one that I played against the other day, and so I looked it up because I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. It's doing like you're gaining a bunch of life, and then using a card like Righteous Valkyrie, which is the 2/4 that gains you life whenever an angel or cleric enters the battlefield under your control, and then if you have 7 life more, creatures you control get +2/+2. It's
Classic
just like
Angels shell.
very good, right? Stuff like Bishop of Wings,
You have
which gains you a bunch
Giada.
of, you have Giada. And then this version has Collected Company because most of these
You
angels
should, probably.
are CMC 3 or mana value 3 or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
Just good.
Collected Company, if you're playing a deck that seems like it should have it, you should have it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like I thought that was a cool deck. It's just a classic creature deck.
Yeah.
That's all about gaining a bunch of life to
very
make
strong.
your angels nice and big.
Make huge angels, play Collected Company, smash face. I'm at
Exactly.
home in that kind of deck. This deck I just played against on the ladder.
Oh yeah.
This is a Mardu Fires of Invention deck.
Fires of Invention.
That's
Speaking of.
You can play Fires of Invention in Explorer, everybody.
Yes, you can.
Did you miss doing this when it was in Standard back in the day?
I mean, I missed doing it because I liked doing it
Yes.
back then. Ooh, this one also has Doom Foretold.
Yeah.
I also miss Doom Foretold decks.
Here you go. This one is, this is not the only Fires of Invention build, by the way, people. If Fires of Invention exists in a format, it's going to exist in different shells. But this one I played against, and it seems super strong. So Fires of Invention, if you weren't around for the horrible days that were Fires of Invention, it reads 3 in red for an enchantment. You can cast spells only during your turn, and you can cast no more than 2 spells each turn. Okay.
Nice.
You may cast spells with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana costs.
Beautiful.
So you have 1,000,000 mana
Beautiful.
and you can play whatever. So yeah, you've got Fires of Invention in this deck and then just tons of powerful spells to go along with it. You mentioned Doom Foretold because this deck is also playing, let me find it, Treacherous Blessing.
Oh yeah, Treacherous Blessing, great card.
Enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. It's an enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose a life. When it becomes a target of a spell or ability, you sacrifice it. So you can get rid of it with Doom Foretold and you just drew 1,000,000 cards.
Yeah.
And then you just control the board with Kaya's Wrath, Shatter the Sky in this deck. And
I mean, it's beautiful. What else do you really want in this? I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else that you want to do other than kill all your opponent's things and draw a bunch of cards.
yep, that's what it's doing.
Nice.
Kenrith, the Return King, Ox of Agonis in here as your end of game payoffs.
Ugh.
It's just,
Yeah.
it also has Yorion as the
Yeah.
companion. Anyway, it was very good when I played against it. So if you want to be that person,
And don't we all want to be that person, or are you lying to yourself? Either you want to be that person or you're lying to yourself about not wanting to be that person.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
This is another fun deck that I stumbled across, which is 5-color Widespread Thieving.
Okay.
So this is a new card from Streets of New Capenna, Widespread Thieving. 2 in a red for a hideaway enchantment. It is
Yes.
hideaway 5. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a treasure token. Then you may pay Wooburg. If you do, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
Oh.
So somebody had the bright idea of putting Widespread Thieving in a Niv Mizzet Reborn deck.
Great.
Makes
Genius.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Because Niv Mizzet is the 6/6 Wooburg dragon.
Yeah.
That when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 10 cards of your library. For each color pair, you can just draw them.
Yeah.
So this deck is like 5-color go nuts situation, okay?
Amazing. Ooh,
Cast
it's also,
Niv
of
Mizzet.
course, got our
Omnath.
Omnath.
Yeah.
Locus of Creation, red, green, white, blue, 4/4. You know, one of the scourges of Standard briefly.
Absolutely. Omnath in his grabby little hands.
Yes, very grabby.
The Scarab God is in this deck.
Love it.
Assassin's Trophy, Growth Spiral, Tyrant Scorn, Expressive Iteration, blah, blah, blah. It's just very fun.
Yeah.
Draw a
I
million
love
cards
it.
with Niv Mizzet's 5 colors and cast stuff for free with Widespread Thieving. Seems, if you're into 5-color nonsense, which,
Yeah.
how can you not be?
How can you not be?
Seems very fun. Humans is a deck that I think people are going to be exploring in Explorer. And I found a 4-color. It's a very lightly 4-color list.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It has blue in there for Lavinia, Azorius Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
It has green in there for Collected Company.
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
But that's it. Everything else is white and black, which are the classic humans creatures. You
Yeah.
get to play Dauntless Bodyguard, Thraben Inspector.
Thalia's Lieutenant is the big payoff here.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Put all +1/+1 counters on all of your humans.
yeah. is a big deal.
I was attracted.
Adeline.
Oh yeah, Adeline, of course. Another huge payoff for attacking with a bunch of creatures. Tenacious Underdog is a human.
Yep.
I love Tenacious Underdog.
Yeah.
That new little underdog.
That new underdog?
I'm rooting for him to win the fight tonight. General Kudrow, your human lord.
Yeah.
Just classic human action.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow,
I'm
of
here
course,
for this
I
deck.
can't believe that these kite sail freebooters are in the sideboard. Put that boy
Do you
in the
remember that one?
main.
Do you
I mean,
remember
I
that?
hate him. I hate him, but it's because he belonged in Maine.
Put him in the main.
Put him in the main.
I'm a Vampires fan.
Of course you are.
We all know this.
We all know this.
And guess what? Do you
What?
miss the beautiful Vampires deck that you used to be able to play in Standard with Sorin and Imperious Bloodlord?
Well, I mean, not as much as you do, but sure. For the sake of this conversation, I'll say
Okay,
yeah.
great. This is a 3-mana Sorin. Do you
Yeah.
remember this? Do you remember this Sorin?
Yeah, I do remember the Sorin.
Who just lets you put vampires from your hand onto the battlefield?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Sorin?
Yeah, I do remember the Sorin.
This was one of my favorite Standard decks of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Goat situation for me here. So I can relive my goat memories in Explorer. Do you have any goat memories?
Yeah. I have a friend who bought some goats off of Craigslist.
Just for goat time?
Yeah, she just wanted 2 goats.
Does she like milk them?
No, they just hung out with her.
They just hang out.
Yeah, they would hang out with her. They got bigger than she anticipated, which was fine because, I mean, that's what you get when you buy them off Craigslist. You don't know what kind of goats you're
Mystery
getting.
goats.
She would take them to her kids' school for show and tell. It was very cute.
Great.
I would love to own goats someday, if I'm being,
I'm afraid
honest.
of goats.
Why?
Admission.
What?
Taxi cab confession.
Why?
I'm afraid of goats. Because of their rectangle eyeballs.
That's not their fault.
I mean, no, it's not. But they just seem a little spooky to me. You know, like,
I mean, they are a little spooky.
what are you up to, Mr. Goat?
Yeah. You think you're going to end up in a Black Phillip situation.
It's gonna be a Black Phillip situation. Let's get real. I was at my choir teacher in high school owned a farm and she had goats on her farm, and I would go play on her farm sometimes. So she was my high school choir teacher. Just sounds weird. I'm like, I would have played at her house on the farm when I was in 11th grade. No, my mom was also a teacher at the school, so they were friends. And I go over there when I was a kid, and she had a bunch of goats, and I would go and like chase the goats around the yard, and then the goats would be like not there. I would go around a corner and the goat would have disappeared.
It's because they're good at hiding.
Magic goats.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, goats have made
They're
a
all-
dark pact, and we just need to understand that about them.
But also they're cute. And they hop.
Especially baby goat. Very cute.
Oh, very cute. Anyways, goat memories.
Goat memories, this deck.
Yeah.
So not only am I going to relive casting my Sorin and
Yeah.
like putting cards onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like what you
Champion
did.
of Dusk.
Champion of Dusk.
Woof.
It's 5 mana, but with Sorin, just kidding, it's 3 mana.
Yeah.
Then you get to draw as many cards as vampires you have on the battlefield, and you lose that life, but whatever, who cares? Vampires like to gain life.
And now you have the addition of Edgar Charmed Groom.
Yes, so you
which
get-
is very good.
Here's Edgar, just great.
Yeah.
It has 1 copy of Vona, Butcher of Meghan,
Yeah.
which kills stuff if you pay 7 life.
Yep. Knight of the Ebon Legion. This, of course, an
All-star.
all-star. Heavy hitter.
It's definitely up there for like best creature 1-drops of all time for
It's
sure.
very, very good.
So I just got really excited when I saw this. It exists in Explorer, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah.
There's also a Grixis Vampires list. I just want to bring to your attention because Grixis Vampires is something we talked about a lot at the last Mythic Championship. Sorry, what do we call them now? Set Championship. Championship. The new Capenna Championship.
Big event. Big time. Big time thingamabob. Happening.
So this like exists as well, but in a different kind of way, because this one is actually trying to play on the vampire theme, which is what I was upset that the other deck wasn't doing enough for my taste. This one has more vampires, everybody.
Yeah.
Gifted Etherborn, Blood Tithe Harvester, Dusk Legion Zealot, the one that draws you a card.
Yeah.
Then you get to play Corpse Appraiser because this is Grixis.
Yep.
Champion of Dusk is going to be in here, obviously. Olivia, Crimson Bride.
Wow.
We've never had her in anything.
No.
Here she is in
She's
this
big
deck.
old 6 mana, but she do a lot.
Flying
She work
Haste,
hard.
3/4. Lord Xander gets to come to the party here.
Oh.
And of course, you're also still playing Sorin and previous Bloodlord and Fable of the Mirrorbreaker.
Great.
But yeah, so
This is just like good cards.
good cards, but more focused on vampires.
Yeah.
Hashtag live the dream. The final deck I wanted to bring up, this one is a spicy one. Golgari Fight Rigging.
Tell me about it. How are the Golgari rigging fights?
Okay. So, you know the card Fight Rigging from New Capenna. Do you know this one?
We're going to have to talk more about. Okay. This is 2 and a green. Oh, this is a good card.
Yeah, it is.
2 and a green for an enchantment, Hideaway 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I love Fight Rigging. I've drafted it a bunch of times. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
And this deck is like, what if you played Fight Rigging and you immediately get to cast whatever is in under
Wow. Okay.
it? Rotting Regisaur.
Wow, that's right.
Hello.
Rotting Regisaur. This is 2 and a black for a 7/6 zombie dino. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card.
Boom.
Wow.
There he is.
Yeah.
And also another easy way is a card like Shakedown Heavy, which is from New Capenna. So this is a 6/4 and it'll get the counter and it'll be a 7
Yeah.
power creature. Do you know this one?
No.
This one I got played against me a few times. I don't think it's great.
This is a rare that doesn't exist.
Its drawback is a little drawbacky,
Yeah.
okay? It has Menace, so it's a 6/4 natively. Whenever it attacks, defending player may have you draw a card. If you do, untap it and remove it from combat.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, so if you don't want to deal with it, you don't have to.
I mean, also, I don't know that Fight Rigging exists because I've actually never drafted it or had it played against me.
Really?
Really.
It's a beautiful experience. It's one of the hideaways that is, I think, really great.
Ooh, this, of course, is also playing the Great Henge.
Great Henge,
This card, very good.
Yeah.
And a classic example of you have to give blue's abilities to other colors. Because the Great Henge, of course, draws you cards. And that's what makes it great, which is why blue is the best color.
You know what's interesting is like killing stuff has been given to a lot of colors.
Yeah.
Red can kill, green fight. I guess I'm being a little black can kill, white no, it detain. Blue no killing.
White can kill
it can
creatures.
exile, yeah.
But also there's plenty of destroy target tap creature or deal 5 damage target
deal 4
attacking.
to attacking creature. Kill shot.
Not to blue.
Not to blue though.
Blue too good already.
It doesn't need it.
No.
It's interesting.
Isn't it? It's almost like it's the best color.
Titan of Industries in this deck. That's already 7 power.
Yeah.
Elder Gargaroth. That's a 6/6.
Oh my God.
Becomes 7/7.
Talking about cards that we don't need to remember.
Virtuous Gearhulk. You remember this, buddy?
Oh yeah.
The green Gearhulk.
Put counters on everybody.
Ronus the Indomitable. Single copy. That 5/5 legendary God Snake.
This is great. This deck is,
This seems super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that one's all over the internet right now. So you can check that one out too if that sounds like something you'd like to do. But I'm just such a fan of all these kind of really creative decks that we've run across here in this format.
Fun time.
So check it out. Explorer, Still Baby, Pioneer Junior. That's what I'm going to call it because that that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Pioneer Junior. Check it out. If you have a favorite deck that we didn't talk about, feel free to tweet it at us at GLHF Magic. We would love to take a look at it. And get out there and try some Explorer. You know, it's Magic at its purest when a format has not been solved, quote unquote, right? So I just think it's a great time right now.
Yeah, it's a very good time. Highly recommend.
Bring your pickaxe. It's time for chapter 4 of the new Capenna story.
That's right. All right. Are you ready for things to happen?
I mean, I've been waiting, but it's been a fun wait.
Okay. We start out at Xander's Museum up in Park Heights at the top.
I want to go.
Yeah, me too. And Hello is there and he's like, all right, come on, we're getting ready. It's the night of the crescendo. Let's go. And Xander's like, you go. I'm going to stay here. And then Hello's like, why? And Xander's like, I'm old, okay? I don't feel like going. And he's like, also, he's like having a nostalgia moment looking at all of his beautiful statues and stuff.
Oh, Xander.
And then Hello's like, you should come. And he's like, I'm not going to. And also when you get back, we should talk about like succession. You're going to like, when I die, you will replace me. And he's like, wish we had more time to talk about it. But that's what's going to happen. Like, we always assumed it's going to happen, okay? And then Hello's like, I guess I'm going.
I'm having flashbacks to times. Has this ever happened to you and your parents are like, when I die, I need you to remember to look in the attic because up there is something your grandma gave me 500 years.
No.
Remember to take it. Now, I want you to have this, you know.
Yeah. No, my parents have never done anything that weird to me.
It's just so bizarre.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what Xander's
so that's
doing.
what Xander's doing. He's like, okay, like go have a nice time at the big celebration. Have a nice time.
It's just a party.
Is there crescendo.
Is there a reason?
The crescendo is like the Cabaretti's enormous annual party, and this is the party where they're like, we're going to unveil the font that will just have tons of Halo for everybody.
Halo party, let's go.
Exactly.
Drug party, are you going?
And he's like, and Hello, leave via the side door. Don't use the main entrance. And Hello's like, okay. And then as soon as and Hello's gone, he's like looking at the statues, and he's like, I don't remember much of my life. And also, I wonder if there's enough of, like, I've been part demon so long. Will I have enough of a soul left to go to whatever afterlife there is? He's having some real, it's like a real thing. And then there's movement in the shadows, and he's like, all right, adversary, have you come to kill me? And then we swap to the crescendo, and Elspeth is there at the, like, working as a caterer at the crescendo.
Something you never expect a planeswalker to be doing.
No, absolutely not. But she,
I can see
she's
you
going
serving
to.
drinks.
Exactly. Elspeth, here she is, being a server. And, like, Kit, the Ginny Face friend who's, like, a cat person is just like, did you like my song? And Elspeth's like, I don't know enough about music to tell you, buddy, if it was good.
Man,
I liked it.
planeswalkers, their lives are hard. She can't listen to music.
I know, she doesn't have enough time to really, like, talk about it.
Oh.
Anyways, and then...
You can't have a hobby when you're escaping the underworld.
Yeah, exactly. She's killed a god, Maria. That was her hobby.
Hobbies. God killing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Ginny comes up with Kit and Giada and is like, okay, we're heading up to the stage now. And she goes up there, and Elspeth is like tensed up, and she's like, what's going on? And then they bring up like an enormous, like human-sized empty glass bottle onto the stage, and Giada just like touches it, and there's a huge flash of light, and then the bottle is filled with Halo.
Whoa!
And Giada is like, it obviously like really drained her to do this. She's like tired.
Yeah, it milked her to do this.
Oh, Maria, it's just a magical process where they touch it and Halo appear. Okay?
So is this confirmed now? They touch it and Halo appears.
Like she had to do something, right? But like,
I'll tell you what she had to do.
Oh my. She had to sweat.
Pump.
Okay, I think that I'm more correct, and that it's more of like an effort thing. Like they put in the effort, and then there's Halo.
They're like,
exactly, Halo. So it's more like sweat. Angel sweat. My vodka coming at you sometime.
Check it out.
Anyways.
So she pushes out all this.
Yeah, it's like a huge bottle of Halo, and everyone's like, gasp. And Elspeth is like, this is awful. They're just using that girl to make Halo, and they're just like treating her like she's like, they will just make Giada do this until she dies from exhaustion.
Wow.
And that's awful. Anyways, okay, so we discovered that that's their Halo.
That's okay.
We cut back to the museum. Xander is real old, and he's real old, and he's very tired, and there's a bunch of Nicholas brought a bunch of assassins, some of whom used to be maestros, and Xander's like, do you know what? I might be dying here, but I'm gonna kill these assassins first.
Okay, great.
All right, and so he does. They come at him with a knife, and he's like, I gave you that knife. You think I would give you a weapon I didn't know how to fight against?
Ooh.
And so he like breaks his hand and stabs him, and then he like pulls, like his cane turns out to have a sword hidden inside, of course.
Sword cane.
He stabs another one, and he leads them all through the museum, just taking down different assassins who are trying to kill him, until he finally barricades himself out on a balcony. But of course, Nicholas is demon. He have wings.
Yeah.
And Nicholas arrives on the balcony.
We don't know how he puts in his suit coat.
Yes.
It's only the front.
It's only the front, and it ties behind him.
It's like chaps.
We've talked about this. And about how Nicholas's suit must work. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Nicholas is like, I'm demon, I can fly. Now I'm going to kill you. And Xander's
spooky.
like, do you know what? This is a bummer, and like, you suck. and I am going to miss my life, but I'm also old and tired
Like
and okay.
10,000 years old.
Exactly. And so he fights Obnixilis and he almost gets to stab him, but of course Obnixilis demon. So he essentially just shoots him with a finger gun, except it's Obnixilis, so his finger gun shoots dark magic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was like a Tommy gun because we're at Streets of New Capenna.
No, but I mean, like, it is, he's just like bang, with his hand instead of a gun.
Oh, wow.
And he
Okay.
and he kills Xander, and it's sad.
Oh, Xander.
I know, exactly.
We liked you.
I know. He was great. Xander, honestly, after along with Elspeth, hero of this story.
Yeah, he
Pretty
seemed
cool.
really nice.
Okay, we cut back to the crescendo. It turns out that the adversary / Obnixilis's people had infiltrated this. Obnixilis has obviously infiltrated every family at this point. He has spies everywhere, including tons at the crescendo. And so everyone starts fighting. It's just a big brawl. The crescendo turns into a huge brawl. Jetmir,
a ballroom brawl.
It is.
The card.
Jetmir gets surrounded, and Ginny is like, "That's my adoptive dad. Don't you dare!" And so she leaps down to fight them. And Elspeth is like, "You're just abandoning Giada up here, like on this stage, obviously the source of this halo." So Elspeth runs up to the stage and is just like, "Hey," and Elspeth is like, "You've been told enough what to do, so I'm gonna politely ask, would you like to be rescued?"
That's cute.
And Giada is like, "Yes, please."
Sounds good.
So they run, they run through backstage at this on this cabaret stage,
And they get lost and can't find how to get out.
I mean, they run
Spinal
through
Tap
a bunch
situation.
they run through a bunch of curtains. Elspeth is stabbing people through curtains using her excellent planeswalker fighting abilities. And so she's like, fight. Great. They find a side door. They escape.
Excellent.
But of course, in the alley, there's more goons from the adversary / Obnixilis. The Obnixilis' goons are just like, "Let's fight them." But then a giant green arrow shoots in and it bursts into a bunch of snarling creatures who attack these goons and tear them apart, limb from limb. She's not. Vivian's magic doesn't mess around.
Great.
She's going to turn an arrow into a giant wolf who's going to eat you
it will
alive.
eat your bones.
Exactly.
While you're alive.
Anyways, so then Ginny Faye and some other cabaret run out the side door after them, and Ginny Faye is just like, "Get over here, we'll get you to safety." And Elspeth is like, "Nah, pass." And Ginny Faye is like, "How dare you?" And Vivian fires an arrow that bursts into a giant dragon and is like, "Let's get out of here."
Ooh, sick. Wait, are they riding it?
No, the dragon is just barring the way for Ginny Faye and the other cabaret.
Okay.
Okay. So then Vivian is like, "Hey, we need to get out of here." And Elspeth is like, "We can go to this warehouse that I saw this one time."
That's what I always say. Girls always be like, "I know a warehouse."
I know a warehouse. Yes. You know how girls are.
I know this one warehouse.
Anyways, okay, we cut back to the Maestro's headquarters, and Obnixilis is standing over Xander's dead body, and we're sad about it. And he's like, "You were very frustrating. Why were you such a good fighter even though you were so old?" And then Obnixilis's little minions come from the crescendo, and they're like, "Real bad news. We lost the font." There was something going on there, and Obnixilis is like, "What was going on?" Of course, we know the answer is planeswalkers, but he doesn't know there were other planeswalkers here, and he's like, I'm mad. You all go look for the font.
The giant glass of Halo.
Exactly. No, they want Giada because they're like, "Go look for the font,
source of
the
it."
source."
Okay.
Yes. And then the rest of you're going to bring me the heads of all the families.
Whoa!
And I mean just the head.
I mean just the head.
And I mean just the head. Anyways, everyone go look for this. Then we're back out on the streets. Everyone's fighting everywhere. Riveteers are fighting down in the Chaldea. Everyone's been infiltrated. Everyone's been compromised. Everyone having big fight time.
Okay. I can see it.
Yeah,
It's been brewing under the surface for a while.
Elspeth and Vivian are fighting, and Vivian's like, "There's a bigger fight going on here. We were sent here to find out more about potential Phyrexian information."
Yeah.
And Vivian's like, "I have that info. You seem to have some info. Let's get out of here." And Elspeth is like, "We're not leaving until I rescue Giada, because we can't just leave some poor scared person. She's gonna be sweat to death. She's gonna be sweat to death if we just leave her here." And Vivian's like, fine, we'll get her somewhere to safety, and then we're leaving. And Elspeth's like, we can compromise on that. And Elspeth's like, first I need a real weapon, though, because all I've got is this knife. So she goes back to the Maestro's headquarters and is looking through the archives and finds a sick sword. And she's like, I'm going to use this sick sword to fight instead of this knife. And of course, you know, she fights with it, and she's good at that. And now she has a sick sword.
Do we know if it's like Xander's sword or anything?
No.
Okay.
It's just a sword that she found in the
sword. Okay.
And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go find Vivian and Giada so we can hide in this warehouse. Omnixilus is on the hunt for the families and for the font.
And their heads specifically.
Exactly. And Vivian is like, I know more info about the Phyrexians here. End of chapter 4.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
I'm excited to learn what she knows, what Vivian knows about the Phyrexians.
Yeah. What
so
has
spooky.
she found out? I think she's been hanging out with Urobrask.
Okay. Well, yeah, then that would make sense why she would know.
Exactly.
Do you want to know something I did in high school? I don't know if you can do this anymore.
Besides hanging out with goats?
Yeah, besides hanging out with spooky goats, is I bought a sword cane, a cane with a sword in it off of eBay. This was back when eBay was like, you know, brand new. And now I'm like, can I still buy a cane with a sword in on eBay? That seems pretty dangerous, but I bet
you probably can.
You probably can.
In high school, there was a guy at our school who bought a big knife at the Ren Fair and then accidentally stabbed himself with it.
What? Those things are supposed to be sharp?
He was fine. But I mean, like, everyone knew because it was like he had to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
You know?
I mean, that's what can happen.
Be careful with swords and knives, everybody, in case you didn't already know.
Oh, he's like, I want the medieval experience. And then the knife's like, I'll give that to you.
I'll give you the medieval experience.
Another one in the books. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, you know what's
I knew what song you were doing until you tried to do the middle parts, like the instrumental parts of it, and then like,
yeah,
I think I lost it.
It's episode 490 next.
Whoa, we're so close to 500. I can't believe
that number is absurd.
Ugh,
just absurd. So, look forward to that, everybody.
It will be a time.
It's going to be a party. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to Ultra Pro and Card Kingdom for being our incredible sponsors.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who supports us and makes the show literally happen.
Literally happen. Thank you especially to Anne and Arno for being patrons in the last week. Remember the A-Name Challenge.
A-Name Challenge.
If you have a name that starts with an A, or want to make up a name that starts with an A.
You're specifically on notice.
You're specifically on notice to become a patron or to up your pledge.
Yeah, and you can do that over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We'd love to help you join the fam. And just like supporting creators that you love, I think is just a wonderful thing that'll make yourself just like feel great. Like if you're like, I would like a little boost in my day.
Yeah.
Support creators that you consume. I think not literally eat, you don't eat us, but you know what I mean. It'll just make you feel like, oh, I did this awesome thing. So there you go. I recommend it.
Literally consume.
Literally consume.
Spooky.
And then, you know, go out and get yourself a nice sword cane.
Yeah. But be careful.
Don't
be
accidentally
careful.
stab yourself like Renaissance guy.
Oh my God.